Gamers, I gotta talk about the new banner because honestly, I'm a little bit whelmed by it. And for anyone who's a brand new player to Genshin Impact, I would never recommend you pulling this banner because an Archon is coming. And I'm not talking about Venti. Venti is the first Archon that ever came to the game, and he's got some value. I don't want to completely roast Venti, but there are situations where a lot of his value does go away, and I want to explain what happened with this character. And I want to talk about the 4-star units. They're trash. Shang-Yun is not used anywhere. Like, he's terrible tier. We're talking like D tier. Toma is used in a couple version comps, but is overall not utilized or that valuable. With Eidolons, he gets a little bit better with some of his shielding capacity, but overall, Toma is not used almost anywhere, and Dori is one of the worst characters the game has ever seen. She is literally F tier in my opinion. I would never recommend anyone build her or waste resources on her, period. Now, if we look at both characters here, Wriothesley is one of my favorite visually in the game, which is the frustrating thing. He is so cool to me. He reminds me of this, like, male Vi from League of Legends. I love his color palette. He looks amazing. But he'll be back, and I would rather pull when he's back on a better banner. I don't know if he's going to be the strongest thing ever, but he's also a DPS unit. And DPS units are all kind of the same. They kill stuff, and you hit them. And if you put him with Shang Ling, I'm sure it'd be cracked. If you put him with Bennett, Shang Ling, get someone else in there, maybe freezing them, I don't know. There's some potential. The issue I see is an Archon is coming, and typically they're incredible. Even Venti, who I really want to talk about here, Venti, at his job, in his niche, is incredible. The ability to suck up, like, an entire room of enemies, I missed one of them, of course, and then pair it with some of these other combos, and essentially just turn off your brain, is pretty cool. He is a awesome unit, and I think that Venti was, in the early game, the best unit to ever come out. But after only a few patches, his value started to drop a little bit. And once the map expanded and we started going to Inazuma and things like that, things really started to fall off for my boy. Because there's all those different samurai enemies in Inazuma that you can't really suck up. You can't get that extra value. And there's a lot of enemies that are like ruin guards that you can't really impact. And as the game has progressed and they've added more and more big units and big enemies in the game, there are so many bosses, there are so many consecrated beasts and different things like that that you can't really get value out of Venti. And if you're looking for someone who can suck up some units and can apply some amazing buffs and debuffs to the enemy, then Kazuha is the Archon. Kazuha is better than Venti in almost every situation, other than against tiny enemies in maybe some sort of event minigame. And so, if a Primo Gem is a Primo Gem is a Primo Gem, and you have the option to go on this banner, I would just wait for Kazuha, or other Archons, or other cool top-tier characters that everyone unanimously loves and adores, if you want to have the strongest account in Genshin Impact. If you don't care and you just want to have fun, do your thing, but I can never recommend a banner with such weak 4 stars to anyone. Because unless you're spending money, there is a situation where you're going to have to skip banners. You're going to have to miss out on characters. You're going to have to wait to get someone you want. And if you blow it on this and you get a bunch of trash 4 stars, I think I'm not giving you good advice. Again, with Wriothesley, he's cool, he's amazing, but unfortunately, if you pull on this banner, regardless of how cool he looks, your account may be weaker long-term than someone else that is a little bit more patient. And because they're getting 3 different units on the banner that are arguably pretty bad, is Fiorina's banner potentially going to be a lot better? Is the new character going to be better? I know that some people are endgame and they don't care about these things, but I have to at least say it because not everyone is. There's new people that are joining the game all the time. And so this is, in my opinion, one of the worst banners in history. Like, it's terrible. And the weapon banner, weapon banners are always just, I never recommend them to anyone. Do your thing, whatever you want to do. But this is a ton of money. You have to remember, you could spend hundreds of dollars worth of wishes and not get what you want. The pity system in this is extremely punishing. And because there's 2 weapons on the banner, you could miss both weapons, get the weapon you don't want, and then go all the way to pity and get the one you want. It's like 250 wishes to get one weapon that... Is it going to change your gameplay? Probably not. There's some great 4-star weapons in the game that you can use, and because he's a Catalyst user and the other one's a bow user, you're actually in a situation where there's lots of great options. The Widsith is a crazy DPS weapon. It can work on a ton of people. All the stats would be valuable for someone like Wriothesley, especially if you're doing some sort of reverse melt comp. Excuse me. And then there's the Stringless, which is amazing on Venti, and that's a 4-star choice right there. So you don't need the 5 stars. Skip the 5 stars. That's my advice. If I was advising anyone, I would say be patient here and wait. Personally, I'm a little bit behind. I haven't done a lot of exploration. I haven't finished up Fontaine or anything like that. I haven't done even the final Archon quest, but I am currently saving, and I'm going to go for the Archon myself because there's a good chance she's going to be pretty good. And if I had any advice, I would say if you are a new player, the Neuvillette banner and the Hu Tao banner is pretty good, and you still have a few days left. If you're itching for a 5-star, if you want to get your account going, 5 days on this is a much better bargain, in my opinion, than the other ones. Hate to say it, Venti was my first 5-star. Venti was one of the reasons I started playing the game, looking at their kit and seeing how powerful they looked. But as the game has progressed, there's been power creep. There's been changes. There's been different enemies. There's been reasons why some units have fallen out of favor. And I think that they're one of them. Hu Tao is someone that made Diluc seem a little bit weak or obsolete. And even Neuvillette. Neuvillette has some pretty interesting and fun gameplay. And I question, is he going to be a solid unit for kind of anyone to build long term? And once you start adding other Fontaine characters in, is Neuvillette potentially going to get even better? And it's something to consider. So, that's where I'm at right now. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like Wriothesley. I mean, I like Wriothesley. I think he looks badass. Like, he truly looks amazing to me. But I'm going to skip him, and there's pretty much nothing that would change that fact. Especially because of those 4 stars. Even though I'm in the end game, and I don't need any constellations or anything. See you later. Bye-bye.